Hey everybody, welcome to the Four Takes podcast. This is the first episode. My name's Izzy. It started out as a Zoom call that happened the day after Zack Snyder's Justice League released. So we're all hyped up and talking about it, and I just decided to turn it into a podcast in the middle of it. So the intro and outro are a little bit abrupt, but you'll get the gist of it once you get inside of it. So I'll talk to you again at the end. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out.
I have to say, wow, it was good. It was way better than the original. So, I mean, hands down, the visuals was just ridiculous. Even though
Here we go.
I cannot take Ezra Miller as the Flash. I tried. That being said, they did make his character better, but I can't take him seriously as the Flash. I can't do it. And I know he's supposed to be like the comic relief, which he is in the comics, but I just can't do it. I tried. I really did try. But that's just my take on it. What you guys take on Ezra Miller?
I liked him better in this one. I think he was. I like that he was funny and he wasn't such a wussy in this one as well.
Yes, I agree with that.
He was such a wussy in Joss Whedon's version.
And this one, they got rid of the.
He had confidence in himself,
And I hate the fact that they gave him like the big eyes in the first one. He's always like,
yeah, right.
They got rid of that. Thank goodness. He probably did it like once with the Superman return scene, and that was it.
Oh, he did it. He did it too when I think there was another time he did it, but they were both good moments. It wasn't like a constant thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how much humor was in there, considering it's Zack Snyder. Like, I thought almost all the humor would probably be Whedon, but
That's what a lot of people thought, I think. There was a couple scenes I was shocked that were Zack's that were in there. I think there was two that I was surprised with Zack's.
Yes.
There was.
You guys are walking into something that I have a question for everybody. But first, did you guys give your take on Ezra Miller? Ezra Miller?
I don't mind him. I mean, I don't really have like a favorite version of Flash, but I'm probably the Justice League Unlimited version, but I always like the cartoon stuff better anyway.
Justice League Unlimited version. Yeah. Love Flash in that.
Wasn't that Wally?
Luthor.
Wasn't that Wally in that version?
Yeah, it was Wally.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of weird too, because they kind of make them both the comic relief, and I don't know if that's so true.
Are your children here? That's how you gonna say my cousins? What about you, Israel?
Man, I feel like a fish out of water now. That is the character that has stuck the most with me over this day. I truly loved him, like truly, deeply. And I had no expectations going in because I didn't see the Joss Whedon version, and I have never read a Flash comic in my life. But coming as a complete outsider to him, he is the person that has been on my mind the most handedly today. And not just in who he was, but in particular, the way he was shot. Because I think that the way he was shot was some of the most impressive and quietly deft camera work I've ever seen. And the use of slow motion to convey how fast he's going seems like a contradiction, but it worked. And I was about to be crushed at the idea that he was going to die when he saved the day with the cubes.
Yeah.
Man.
I truly, the weight of that hit me harder than the weight of Superman's death, okay? And I have to say it's probably because I didn't see the Joss Whedon cut. I don't have anything in me that I can't unsee, right?
Got you. So basically, you're a virgin.
Yes. for this.
You just
film,
got your
yes,
cherry pops.
I did. I did.
You're like, you should watch the Whedon version. You would be like,
Don't watch it. Do not watch it. I'll tell you right now. Don't do
you'll
it.
just be like,
I'm so sorry.
How you are
I'm
right
really
now.
Torn. Yeah, I'm really, really torn about whether to watch it or not. Because, and honestly,
Don't do it.
I want to be able to claim that I was coming from a place of intelligence when I chose not to watch Joss Whedon's cut, but it wasn't. It was an act of protest because I was going from one of my top 5 favorite directors to my least favorite director taking over that film.
yeah.
So to me, I was like, I will not see that. Like, you know what I mean? It was like literally an act of stubbornness and like, pig-headedness that I didn't watch it. So,
Well, thanks to that.
I'm glad I didn't, but I gotta tell you guys, like the Flash really shook me, like, and I didn't expect him to, and it really was. He was perfectly out of his element, but he was still confident in his abilities. Right? He was straddling this line of being competent, but very uncomfortable with having to go slightly faster every time, and it truly scared me. I truly thought he was going to die at the end to do that. And I was ready. I was ready to grieve because I had gotten really attached to him over the course of those 4 hours.
Tight.
Right?
So I
didn't
do appreciate that
too.
too.
You guys picking on him, I'm like, oh, like what?
I see your facial expression too as soon as I mention that.
He's also a bit of a creeper.
Yeah. Yeah, that intro scene, I'm not sure that's consent. Like that, when she can't say no, you know.
No, I like
Hey,
that.
man,
I thought that was good where he saved Iris.
That scene.
And the scene you were talking about where he goes back and like reverses time.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, I love that scene.
They made him make
I couldn't
sense.
breathe. I was like,
Zack
literally, I
is
was
so
on bated
good.
breath. Yeah.
Zack made him make sense. So I enjoy. Okay, so here's my question because it actually kind of ties into everything we're talking about right now. I have a question for you guys. If you had the ability, this is not reference to Flash. If you had the ability to go back in time and redo something that you did to make it better, would you do it?
Oh no.
Right
You
now,
wouldn't do it?
you don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, so the question is this.
I'm gonna say yes, actually.
Jared, actually, I was wondering. I was like, meh.
I had a feeling he was going to say, he stayed quiet. I had a feeling he was going to say yes. I would too. I would change some things. My thing is this. Without the Whedon Zack version, there would not be this masterpiece that we see.
It wouldn't have been 4 hours if it was going to be put in the
Oh,
theater.
you mean if his daughter hadn't died and he just got to finish the film?
Yes, it wouldn't be what we see now.
No,
I'm gonna tell you why. He answered every criticized moment in that film that the fans had. He answered all of them with this film and like way better explained it and cut out some scenes that did not need to be there. But he explained it in a storyline that you can follow legitly from start to finish without blinking an eye. I didn't blink an eye all the way through. It was some points to where I was like, did you just say that? Like it had me my emotions going. That's why I said that film was way better. It was good.
Yeah, I'm emotional today. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I feel emotional today. Like, and it's not just because it was beautifully shot. Like, I was told the story in a complete way.
Yeah.
I didn't feel lost at any point. And now what I get to do now because of that is focus on the camera work, the artistry, right? I don't have to try and piece the film together first, right? I get to just be treated to, that's why I called it a feast. It felt like I got to cheat. Usually I have to muscle through plot holes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that here.
So
You're
don't
lucky.
watch the first one.
It makes
Don't watch the first one, bro. I'm gonna save your life right now. Don't do it. You committing suicide.
I don't even know if you guys noticed because you guys saw the first one, Raheem and Jared, but like you know in the beginning when Batman is like tracking down that criminal for like to look for the parrot or whatever he was doing, and right as he's leaving, besides the fact that Batman just like let a criminal go free, he didn't like do anything with him. But like right as he's leaving, he talks to Alfred and he says, "Fire up the jet" or whatever. Like we're gonna go look for Aquaman tonight. And then the next scene, he has a full beard. So I was like, was it like a month after he left there, or was it like, because they made it look like it was that night that he left? And then the next scene, Batman has a full beard.
There are a lot of problems I have with that scene. Like, one of them was the fact that he talks to Alfred and calls him Alfred right in front of the criminal.
Yes.
And then the other one is he grabs his parademon and they're flying like all over Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And he zaps them or something, so they land right back where they started.
Yeah,
like on the same rooftop.
Yeah,
and it shows them clearly, just like it reminded me of the Man-Bat scene from that first Batman animated series where he's hanging on a Man-Bat and they're flying.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
that one.
Except that was
Not
cool.
nearly as cool.
Yeah.
They land in the same place. It was just like, come on.
Man.
And he just lets the guy go. Like the
Yeah.
scene starts out with this guy robbing a bank or whatever he was robbing. And then Batman, at the end of the scene, Batman just dips and lets the guy go. He doesn't do anything. He just leaves.
Batman doesn't do that. He'll zip him up, hang tie him. He'll do something for police to get him. So, but that's what I mean by Zack Snyder. He cleaned up a lot of stuff, and I think he cleaned up a lot of his own stuff too, and realized well, maybe there were some things that he was going through to where he couldn't really focus on the film the way he wanted to. That was my thought. But the fact that he had a chance to go back, clean up, answer all the questions that all these fanatics have had, or critics have had, and just made it a complete flowy movie. You enjoyed every single chapter. You know what I mean? You just enjoyed it. Every hour, there was like a whole new feel to each chapter. So like by the time the third act happened, I'm like, all right, what's going to happen on this one? Even though I know what's going to happen, but I was asking what's going to happen on this one because it was so different from the Zack Whedon one. I say Zack Whedon because it was both of them had a hand in it.
Barely.
Yeah.
Well, and also the reason why they don't make a lot of 4-hour movies for theaters these days is not just that they don't think people are going to want to fit, but they're trying to fit as many viewings into a night as they can for money.
Yeah,
that's why the studios push for 2 to 2.5 hours. So there's no way he would have got a 4-hour movie out, especially considering BVS was critically kind of slammed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been asinine for those who making money off of this to go through with a 4-hour movie. It wouldn't have been worth it. So this was a smart move by the networks to do it this way. Everybody's at home anyway. More people get a chance to see it like ASAP. It's a plus for HBO, a plus for Zack Snyder, and it's gonna be a plus now that he's getting ready to do the other films. So I just think that's a plus all the way around. This was a great move.
In a weird way, we kind of owe Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He butchered that movie, man.
Yeah.
Like no one would have demanded so hard to see this.
I think even he thought that
I agree with that.
Trash.
Man, I'm more like
himself that the final product of that movie, he wasn't really proud of it. Like his name's not on it, is it?
Who?
Whedon.
On
At the
this
beginning
one?
of it, it says directed by Zack Snyder. It does.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the first one?
Yeah. I think he has a writing credit on it, but it says directed by Zack.
Interesting.
When probably like a quarter of it was actually Snyder.
Yeah.
Oh.
If that's pushing it, maybe that much.
Do you think if we were to petition Zack redoing Batman vs Superman, he would do it?
This guy.
Oh, just to get the hype going again and everything.
I'm just messing with you.
That's funny though. That is funny because it is pretty like, I mean, it has its fans now. It didn't before at all.
Mm-hmm.
But people are coming around on it. Even some of my friends, just from watching our video, I've like kind of changed their tune. They're like, I rewatched it and was like, wow, why is this so much better than I remember? And I think it plays into what David was talking about a while back with the Bathos thing, where you are acclimatized when you are a non-comic reader to what a comic film is, and then you're exposed to something like The Watchmen or BVS, and you are disappointed because it isn't what you expected.
Right.
Your expectation has been groomed for you by the MCU, right?
Exactly.
But The Watchmen is fire, though. I don't know who would say something negative about that one.
No, yeah, no. Well, that was thankfully
That's fair.
before. That was before the MCU had kind of gotten rolling. But I think that's one of the biggest things I think that hurt BVS is like Marvel had already I feel like they had already kind of ingrained it in people's minds, like what a comic book movie should look like. And BVS made people feel so uncomfortable when they watched it because it was nothing like that at all. And people were like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not my Batman. That's not my Superman. They don't do that.
And I was so there for it. I remember just second one watching that and being so picked on about it. But I was like, I love that Batman's killing people. I'm sorry. It adds gravity. It adds gravity to where he is, in his life right now.
I liked it because I knew where it was going. I knew the arc that he had planned for Batman. That was just one chapter in a book. I think a lot of people were thinking that Zack was trying to say this Batman kills, period, instead of realizing just in BVS he kills.
Right. So go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
Oh, I was just saying, just in BVS he killed, not before and afterwards. He was not supposed to kill. Just in BVS, he became that way. But
so after that, he's not a killer anymore.
Well, once he
humans, yeah. I mean,
I'm saying that's the whole premise, right? After that, basically he came back to himself to where he decided not to kill again.
It took
the moment Superman died. Yes.
Yeah.
So can we agree that he can finally kill Joker and be done with it? If he can bring himself back, I'm just saying. Maybe. I'm just saying.
Especially Leto's.
Hey, tell Zack we talk to him. Tell him to make sure if he ever have a hand in doing a Batman film, make sure he kills the Joker.
What'd you say, Jared?
I said especially Leto's dumbass version.
Have him in a killing joke and then finally kill him off in the end. But anyway.
I liked it. I liked Leto's Joker too. I feel so bad.
I did too, man. I like his Joker.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just I just am full of accidental hot takes.
That's good though. I mean, everybody has their take on it. I'm like Jared. I like the authentic Joker. I like the authentic Joker. I mean, I could not take Jared Leto seriously and the dumb tattoos on him. But even if he had dumb tattoos, the acting part of it too, it was just who is this person? This is not the Joker. He's not acting like who the Joker is or how he should be. As crazy and insane as he is, he's actually highly intelligent. So it was just kind of weird to me to see that type of version of the Joker. It was just weird.
Trying too hard. I feel like trying too hard.
Oh well, hear me out for a sec though. I just want to think about maybe two things about that Joker really quick. One, and this is a fourth wall being broken type point. I think I get the impression that Zack Snyder thought that Jared Leto was up to the task and wanted to redeem him to an audience with a very, very important scene. That's one. And two, it's implied that the Joker has lost Harley. Mm-hmm. And it is displayed how important that is to him. That may have made him turn a corner that Batman turned similarly in BVS, where he doesn't have the control over his intellect that he would in the Nightmare sequence.
Right.
That's what I got from it.
So basically, you're saying that by what's her name? Quinn dying, it brought him to some type of sanity in a sense.
He's lost his focus, if you can call what he has focus. I was under the impression that he turned some kind of corner there emotionally as a spectator from the outside. Now, he didn't have a lot of lines, but that man, Zack really made you sit there and be forced to deal with that conversation, though. Mm-hmm. It was important to Zack. That conversation was. And so I'm like, okay, I need to respect that as a spectator right now. There's something about the mention of Harley that made Joker drop the act for maybe the first time ever.
And the fact that he was there with Batman, having a conversation like that with Batman. Yeah. And not being like, feeling like he has to fight him or run or anything like that. So that's an interesting point. I didn't look at it from that aspect. So that's a good point.
That's just me making my case for it, because I liked it. I did. I felt a lot of emotional severity happening in that moment. And it felt like it was really important because it took its time, making us sit in it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I want to hear what you thought of Joker, because we didn't really talk about it in the car.
His laugh is forced, and like even that part where he was like shaking his hand, like acting like he was scared of what Batman had just said. Finally, just the whole thing just felt like Leto just chewing the scenery, but not in a good way, like Nicholson or Ledger. It's just it just didn't feel authentic to me. Just
yeah, that was my whole point too. I'm not attached to that character. Like if we would have watched that movie with him in it, what movie was that?
Suicide Squad,
and he would have killed would have been drawn to him because of that film. Then I think that probably would have had more of an attachment to us personally. But we hated that. We hated the film, and we hated the Joker in that film. Really did.
Well, I was ready to give him another chance because Snyder was talking about how he redeemed himself.
Yeah,
to me, it was the same. It was the same thing without the tattoos.
Yeah,
and he looked like the Crow.
Yeah, yep, I hear you. Yeah, as soon as I seen him, I kind of cringed a little bit, but I was like, watch it. Well, because I have a premeditated thing going on already. Yeah. From Leto, and so I had to kind of shut that off to really get the point of what's going to transpire right then and there. I'm going to watch it again. My nephew said he wants to watch it again too, so I'm going to watch it again for a second time. I know it's shocking because I won't even spend a day at a time. So this was a good film, man. I thought that was perfect. It was each scene that I hated, they made it so much better.
Oh, that's cool. That's probably really enjoyable, actually, in a weird way. Like, I still am so torn about whether I'm going to watch it or not. Like,
I want to see you. I wish I could watch you when you watch it. I might have you and Jared over or something.
Oh man, because I
really want to see your face.
Well,
I
there's
really
also
want to see your face.
Yeah, there's two problems with Whedon, and this is why he's my least favorite director. I don't like humor that doesn't fit with what's happening, and that's his calling card. And I don't like. He directs movies like he's directing a television show.
Oh, thank you. I've always said that. Like,
it drives me nuts.
Movies look like TV shows.
I actually, I have to agree. As a Whedon fan, I have to agree with that.
Really?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think his TV shows are way better than his movies, and
I've said that he has strengths. He has strengths. His comedic timing and his directing should stick to serialized television, and he would be one of the wealthiest people on the planet if he had just continued to make things along the lines of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I don't think he has a choice right now.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't think he has a choice
not
right
now. Not now. Yeah, no, it's too late. No, that's
it's definitely too late now.
Yeah.
He was working on an HBO show, and I don't know if he got kicked off or what, but he's no longer running that show. A new one coming out.
Oh my gosh, what? It's like it's Consequences time. It's not just.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff been coming out about him.
Yeah, he got booted off that show.
Yep. Don't do bad stuff. Came out, it will come back to haunt you.
What?
I said, don't do bad stuff. It will come back to haunt you.
Right. No, but I mean, even before all this, nobody understood why, but they thought it was kind of strange. He was going to do a Batgirl movie, and it was
That whole thing doesn't make sense to me.
It was in pre-production and everything, and then all of a sudden it got dropped, and he said, "Oh, I don't have a story."
Yeah,
I decided not to do it because I don't have
there.
a story, and then it's like, you can.
There's so many writers.
He was there just to sabotage that movie, man. Like, because not only did he it's not like he just chopped the movie down to 2 hours. Like, he put bad stuff in the movie. Like, I don't know if that's just him. Like, I don't know if he was like trying to sabotage it or if he's just that bad.
Probably.
But he put bad stuff. Like, he could have just cut the movie down. Like, good, like the Clark scene where Clark is talking to his mom and Lois. Like, that scene is perfect. Like, but he, like, the things he put in that scene make absolutely no sense. Like, the things he had Lois say about herself. It makes no sense at all.
Well, yeah, you were saying that.
Use the scene that was already shot and filmed already. Like, just use that.
Yeah.
But like, he took that out, and then he had Lois say all this crap that was just like Lois wouldn't talk like that.
That's the thing about having two captains. You know, you'll never go anywhere.
All right.
I think it's worth watching
well
just from
said.
like an educational standpoint. I mean, because it's just such a crazy thing that what happened with the different director that's a completely different type of director taking over this movie, and what he would add and the other wouldn't, and why this one failed and that one. It's just fascinating, I think.
Yep.
Worth it for
I also
that.
get the sense that Zack Snyder cares a lot about each individual character as a person, and Joss Whedon doesn't care about them at all.
No, no, he didn't. And he had no connection to this film. You know, like
none.
WB couldn't find somebody who was like the understudy of Zack Snyder to take over. It's like you took somebody completely out of the element and threw him into a field to where he has. This is not him. Dark is not Joss Whedon whatsoever.
Well, also think about this. Honestly, actually, to take it like a step further, like since we're on this topic, like I would rather have seen someone fresh out of film school that was obsessed with those characters to the point of tears directly to someone like that step in, who is really green behind the camera, but they just have the urgent connection, you know, the real emotionality. Because I will say that aside from the filming, the emotional content is what really surprised me about this movie.
It connected.
How many times I was stirred by characters I know nothing about. Right?
See? Good storytelling. That's what'll do it. Good story. You can have as many visuals you want to, but if you don't have the story that connects you, what's going to connect you? What's going to connect you when it comes to your memories of your childhood or other things? Movies is about connection, right? Yeah. We watch it, we get attached to it because it touches us somewhere in our hearts, in our minds. It brings up emotions. My God, like you know, I was watching. What movie was I watching? Anyways, I got emotional because, you know, I had a little bit of a rough upbringing, but I had an emotional tie with this movie, and it got me all emotional because of this father-son scene. You know what I mean?
That'll get you every time, dude.
But it drew me in. You know what I'm saying? It drew me in, and lightweight made my eyes water up. I'm just like, dang.
What is
it's so juicy. It's so good, you know, and it makes you feel these emotions that you don't want to feel, but you felt them, and then once you felt them, it's kind of like a healing.
Yeah,
that's what these movies are supposed to do. So, with like growing up reading comic books, that was my getaway. And so now you're watching these films, and then you get connected to these characters, which is why I stress the whole thing about character build. I felt that with the Zack Snyder cut. Now I'm getting the character build. This is what I'm talking about. So now when you get to the next movie, you knowing what this individual went through. And I'm glad he did so much of a great freaking job on Cyborg. Thank you.
I was about to bring him up. I was like, let's talk about Cyborg, y'all.
God.
Let's get into it. Who wants to go first?
Oh, dude. Man. Dude, I have so much I could say about that. Like, it is.
Go for it.
Like, I just, like, every time, well, maybe not every time now, but I know for sure the first, like, I think 2 times I watched it, I was just like, it blew my mind how much Cyborg was in this movie. Because in the Whedon version, he's like not in it like really that much at all. Like, he has no backstory at all, 0. None of that stuff was in there. And like, I don't know, it just made you like, I don't know. It was just like it made you care about his character a lot, and it also felt really good to see like a black character in a DC film that wasn't like a sidekick character and wasn't just like the background character. You know, like he was like one of the most OP characters on the team.
Yeah.
Like
I was
as
just gonna say that. Yeah.
you could control all the nukes and all the banks if you wanted to. Like you could hack into any like government system if you wanted to. So, I mean, in Whedon's version, he was just like, I don't remember what he did.
He did nothing.
That was
his version. He did absolutely nothing. He was just like, boom, this is what happened. Boom, now he's doing this. And then boom. It was just dumb. It was dumb. It was bad. Matter of fact, after the hype comes down, Izzy, after all the hype comes down, go ahead and watch it. But film yourself watching it so you can just express some things when you watch it.
I want to see it first.
I want to see your first reactions.
You're gonna flip.
I want to see your first reaction.
I'm gonna flip.
It was that bad.
It's funny because my buddy Jaden, he's a really like close friend of mine, and he knows Jared. He started watching the Snyder Cut yesterday, but didn't get too far into it. And he's like, I'm gonna finish it today. And he was amazed at how, just from watching the title sequence, how much information he was truly denied by Joss Whedon in just the title sequence. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that either. Like, okay, really? And he's like, yeah, I didn't know any of that stuff about Superman's death affecting the mother boxes. Like, he's like, that is so important. It's so important that it's the beginning of the film. Right? And I was like, wow, okay. And he's like, I just stopped, and he's like, I'm gonna get into it. But right away, I was just like, wow, this is there's like zero dialogue. And my answer to that was like, well, hey, let's be honest for a second. And I'm not mocking anyone here. How does Joss Whedon communicate to an audience? What's his strength? Dialogue. Right? So it makes sense that that's what he would cut if it was already shot. It makes sense that he would remove that intro and be like, this doesn't tell the audience anything. In his mind, it doesn't, because that's not what communicates to him. And that's not how he communicates to an audience, right? So I was like, oh, it makes sense that he would just hack that. And it's like so crucial. so integral. It is the thrust of it's why they have to resurrect him. When they find that out, that's the moment that they decide to resurrect him.
Right. Right. Exactly. They realized like the mother boxes never sent out the signal until Superman was dead. Like they knew he was so important that they can't do anything until he's gone. Like that's such a huge plot point that was just cut out in the Whedon.
That was a huge plot point. So every time I see something that added to the film, I would say make it make sense, and I'm happy that it did. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I kept saying that, like, oh my gosh, make it make sense. So we're gonna jump back to Cyborg, but just for your point, the visual that explained basically all of the first version of the movie of Justice League was in that first clip. The scene of how they showed the dying of him, the light extractions, it really drew you back. And you're sitting here watching it, and you watch it how the camera is slowly just drifting and following the scenes, and then the sounds of him, and then showing his pain as he's screaming out. I didn't get that in Batman versus Superman, but when he did that in that film, you really felt his pain. Right. And he screamed so hard. The waves went through water.
Well, they went to the Amazonians.
That's insane, man. The whole thing was insane. But it drew me into that. It's just like, all right, dang, it's about to go down. That's what I said to myself.
I have this memory from when I was a kid because I loved the Superman, the original one, the Donner one. And when he screams when Lois dies, it just is like gut wrenching.
Yep.
It had that same feel, but only with cool sonic waves coming. Well, that was another
Yeah.
callback because Izzy was talking about how he thinks that maybe reversing the time was a callback to Superman flying around the Earth.
When the Flash did it.
Oh yeah.
That's tight.
That's
That's
what I
tight.
thought. When I was sitting there, because he says you got to break the one rule, and I was like, oh, Jor-El gave him that rule, and he broke it for Lois
Mm-hmm.
in the Dawn of Superman. That's the one rule he gave him. You can't mess with time, dude, and he did it. And so, hearing him say that to himself, I wondered if that was a nod,
Hearing
like a tip
Flash
of the
say
hat.
Should be.
Mm.
Okay, let's get back to Cyborg. I want to hear what Jared has to say about him.
Jared, Cyborg, what's your thoughts?
I really liked him. Like, has that actor been in anything other than that? I've never seen him before,
Yes,
I haven't seen him.
and he just had a really cool like vibe to him. And I for some reason, like just the way he talked and like he like perfectly enunciated everything he said was just it felt in a way like something that a person that was half robot would do, but not to the point where I am a robot.
Right,
It
right.
was very specific. Like what he said was just.
It was his eyes. His acting, a lot of his acting was with his eyes, even though you only saw one. He was a very good actor. That's a very good actor.
Good facial acting.
Lot
One of the
of
changes
presence
I
there.
noticed that was interesting in the Joss Whedon version is when the parademons were, when it was Steppenwolf was about to kill his dad in the where is it, like underwater.
Oh, in that little tunnel.
Yeah,
Whatever.
the tunnel. In this version, he just jumped out to save him, but in the Whedon version, it was one of those things where his auto defense mechanism came on.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
arm like triggered and he shot first, like
Like implying that he wouldn't have done it himself.
yeah.
Yeah, like he was just sitting there watching his dad, and his arm just automatically turned into. He like looked shocked that it happened.
Okay.
And he fired it at him. Yeah, in this one, that's just a good point because in this one, he just like raged
Yep.
and was like went down to save his dad. That's a good point.
Yep. That's a really good point. And so my thing was him with him too. I soaked up a lot with him. He didn't come from a broken home. That was my number one thing because we get all these character things especially when it comes to the Black community.
Yeah.
You come from a broken home. You don't have a dad. All this extra stuff happens. So he didn't come from a broken home. Educated father and mother, showed the background with that, and also showed the tragedy behind it. The thing that stuck out to me the most, that was really, really well done, and it made him make sense on why he became the cyborg, is he was already intelligent and really good with computers.
Mhm.
That was one thing that they highlighted. I said, okay, great. Other thing is it showed him being reaction time. Like he knows how to react when the pressure's on, whatever. It showed that in that football clip on how he needed to score. He visualized the time, what he needed to do to get to that point. So it showed he had bravery, strength, smarts, all that type of stuff. So when the mother box, when the father used the mother box on him, it showed, okay, well, this is what we're going to use him for. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I was like, dang, that's freaking dope. It explained how he became who he is as a cyborg. So to me, that was just dope. Now you add in the sweet touch of the mom on how he's a good-hearted kid, the heart and everything, and then the smarts, and then the intuitiveness or whatever you want to call it, the thing that he got from his dad, that part of it too, to where it made him a strong, smart, loving, kind, caring person. So although he's a robot, he's just like a loving, regular human who just happened to have all these things on him. He's not just this shell of information. So they did that. Zack did that really good on really explaining who he is. It made him important part of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was like the center of the movie.
He was.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he really was, right? Like, I mean, none of that would have happened. I mean, him and the Flash
yeah,
are honestly who do it.
yeah.
And honestly, like Superman, as much as they needed him, he was there for a singular purpose, and it had nothing to do with the cubes or the boxes.
Mhm.
It had everything to do with basically being a linebacker to stop Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, nobody else could.
You know,
Stone was he was taking care of business.
I mean, and he did it. He cranked that role up to 11 for sure. But like,
Not
it
impressed.
really was the Flash and Cyborg that were central to the plot moving forward. You took the words out of my mouth, Raheem, too. I really was like, oh, wow, they didn't do the I'm the black character thing where I'm destitute and uneducated. And I sat there and quietly admired that a lot because you're right. You don't see that very often. And it's I think it's important. It's necessary,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like, to stop reinforcing negative kind of narratives, you know?
Right.
In a way that like, yeah, oh, you got to overcome, you got to, you know, do all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, what if you're just capable and respected for it, regardless of what color you are?
Yeah.
Right. It was amazing. It was done so well. Like, I was almost like just blown away by that right away. I was like, oh, he's the star quarterback. He's well educated. His mom's sticking up for him in a really sweet way. Like, his dad's just like got a really high profile job and he's not around. Like, and I was like, this is not the black story that you see consistently, right?
Exactly.
And I was like I loved it. I just couldn't believe it. I thought it was so cool.
Yep.
Now the other thing that I took away from Cyborg, was I was completely alarmed by his level of power. I could not believe the things he could do without even exerting any effort. Like, I remember hitting Jared right away and being like, is Cyborg actually that powerful? Are you kidding? And he's like, yeah, I mean, they added the internet stuff. They added the internet stuff, but like, I mean, and I'm just like, and I do like there are two things that I really liked about his character in particular, as to the sweetness of him. One is that he met Wonder Woman and acted like he was too cool to meet up with her. And I remember having this feeling, I said it out loud under my breath. I was like, well, why'd you meet her then, bro? Like, and then she said that to him, basically. She's like, well, you came here, though. Like, you know, you're here for a reason. There's something in you, dude. Like, and then there's also the ending where he has lost his father. And he volunteers to tackle the boxes, and they all try to stop him. And Wonder Woman does a very phoned-in attempt to stop him, and then respectfully acknowledges that he's not going to be stopped. And she just gives him that nod, like, I knew it. I knew that sweet dude was in there. I knew that. Like, you know, it's like, it's like you said about BVS, David, how they say so much with so little, even though it's a 4-hour movie. It's the same thing. You get one or two lines, you get one or two facial expressions, and you get the privilege of being able to be engaged in that in a way where you feel it's necessary to use your emotions and your intellectual capacity to decrypt what's happening. Like, you're right there. That's the way you look at a friend. That's the way you look at someone you know. Like, there wouldn't be this big, long exposition about it. There would be a moment.
Right.
And I like
that's the thing I like. Stuff you were bringing out about like his family and stuff, and it like that's the one thing I liked about it, and I could tell because Ray said, but like he said before they even made like the first like rough draft of the script, Chris Terrio, the guy who wrote the script, and Zack Snyder asked to meet with Ray, and they asked him, they're like, how do you want to see a black family like portrayed in this movie? They're like, tell us how you want. And like I could see it in the movie because, like you said, it avoided all those like stereotypes you normally see about a black guy in a movie or a family in a movie. And I could see it. I was like, you know, there are black people like scientists out there. Like there are smart black people out there.
or actors, right? Like successful actors, like Oh man,
that's awesome, man. But yeah, that father part, that's the part I was thinking about that got me all emotional, is that connection. You know, even though he had this anger towards his dad, he loved his dad so much, which is why he has the anger. You know, you don't hate somebody like that if you don't have that much love for the person. You know what I mean? So that part, it got me all watered up, bro. It got me all watered up. I'm like,
Is he turning to me at that point when he's at the football game? He looks and his dad isn't there, and he says,
that was another part.
He says, "Science is more important than sports, dude."
You know what the dad was working on. Like, I get it, I work for a living to provide, but what his dad was working on, bro, was something really important.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh man, it's a football game. Come on, like, you know. But I'm also like, then I felt like an ass when they got in the car crash. I was like, oh.
Right.
Yeah, but it also goes to a boy wanting time, and that's what it is. And reflecting with being my son, he always wants to spend time. He don't care what it is. He just wants me to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's so. Think about that. To what he's like 17 years old, right? Was that college or was it college or was it high
I
school?
think it was college.
I think it was
College, right?
university.
University. So like he probably like what 19, 20, whatever the case may be. And so he's having this dad, you know, spend time with me issues all the way up until that point. So I can feel his disappointment of that part, which added to why he's so angry. And then him and the mom got into an accident. Mom died. Father saved him. Now he has resentment towards his dad. How come he didn't say mom or whatever's going through his mind? But they portrayed all of that emotions. Great acting from him. Great directing from Zack. Just really bringing that out. So I appreciated that even more so.
Yeah. And to take that one like little step farther, not to get too into muddy waters here, but I really respected the fact that the mother didn't throw the father under the bus during the conversation in the car. She defended him, which showed a strong marriage, right? Which makes it even harder for him to be.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I did definitely. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, she loves him and understands him. Because she could have been like, well, you got me. I came to your game, and he could have been like, well, it's not the same, Mom. They could have had that conversation, and nobody probably would have batted an eye. But I liked that they gave you a strong marriage there. And dang,
that's a good freaking point.
Well, how much harder would it be to hate your dad if your mom and dad are good?
Right.
You know,
right.
Like that's tough. Like I just feel like we're gonna find so many weird little nuggets like this in this film the more we watch it.
Yeah,
the emotional content is so high. Like
I'm going on round 2 tonight.
You realize that all 5 of the characters, 5 of the 6, had issues with parental stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But it was brought in at least. Like Clark is such a good person because he had 2 fathers that cared for him.
Right.
You know, and they showed that when they were going back and forth, and he's taking the best of both. Aquaman's had a thing against his mom because she took off on him.
Yep.
Batman, obviously, the parents are gone.
Right.
And Flash, his dad in prison.
Yep.
You know, and all about trying to help him get out of there. And his dad's like, don't waste your time on an old man. Like, you know, you got, what was it? He told me you're the best of the best. You can do anything you want.
Right.
Yeah. Diana, too. Actually, her mom.
Yeah. Technically, Diana's a bastard.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, yeah. I mean, it's all there. Yeah, that's wild. That's a good point, Jared. Actually, that's interesting. Yeah,
so since we want to bring up Wonder Woman, let's talk about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey man, look.
Yo,
I get
that opening scene of her.
Yeah.
Woo!
Dude, I love, like, I get people like,
oh my god,
Wonder Woman 84, you know, it had its fans, but dude, Diana with a sword and a shield will always be like my favorite version of that character.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like that raw warrior, like she's still loving and kind, but like she doesn't put up with any BS, you know? Like I love that Diana.
Jared, what do you got?
Talk about her opening scene. That's the one.
Wasn't it pretty much the same that we saw before?
No, it was not.
It's not.
No, it was not.
It's not, because instead of her just throwing somebody out of the way, they actually show the person like hit against the wall. Like the violence factor is there. Obviously, the fact that she killed
the scene,
cat flies down.
Yes,
right.
You know,
right.
They definitely made it more brutal, which is better.
Well, like the whole her talking to the little girl at the end of it, I was like, how could you cut this out, man? It was such a good scene. Like
that flow that I'm gonna try to walk through it, because that flow of the whole scene was so freaking OP. I got super excited after I seen that scene. So all this stuff is going on, and they explained a lot more on what these guys were actually doing too. That was something that was missed in the regular movie.
Really?
It wasn't really explained why they were doing it or what they were doing. And then it also didn't explain on how did the police know that they had hostages. Like, they explained a lot in that one scene that wasn't explained. And I was like, thank you. Make it make sense. So anyway, so they show her, she's seen what's going on and whatnot. They got all these people. And then when she first gets there, dude, they made it a point for her to really look at the time. Mm-hmm. So we haven't really seen her all the way just doing her thing that fast. It's always, they have some slow moments, they stop her or whatever. And I was like, hold on, this time is still going. It should have been blown up by now. But when they visibly show her looking at the time, and it's hit at 13 seconds, and then she went to work. The whole time. It wasn't no, I'm slowing down and doing this or having a certain, no, she went to work the entire time, and specifically showing her how she was moving and her eyes and her head was moving. I said, oh my God, this was perfect. It was perfect.
That was like the perfect distillation for me of as having this being my first introduction to Justice League as a film. There's a moment when she looks at that time, and 13 seconds, right, to one of us that's done. Hostages are dead.
We're done. We're dead.
Right? Mm-hmm. And there's a second where I'm in that land with her face and being like not bleak. She didn't look like she'd given up, but she looked like sadly concerned. And I love that what you just said, that instead her basic thing was to be like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go harder than I'm ever gone then.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make me prove it? I'll prove it, right? And I had this conversation with Jared about why I like Zack Snyder's line there better, where she says, believe it, instead of I'm a believer, because it's threatening. Mm-hmm. And I think that Zack Snyder's vision of Wonder Woman is threatening.
Right.
Good. Because that's how she is. She's assertive and dominant when it comes to her character.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why they might have changed that line to "I'm a believer" is because they were really big Monkees fans. No, I'm just kidding. Remember, I was telling you where they said that they intentionally tried to move Justice League to make Wonder Woman the main character because that movie had just come out and everybody loved it so much. Mm-hmm. So they dumbed Batman down.
Yeah.
And he kept on trying to tell Wonder Woman she's the one that needs to take the lead.
Right.
And so to make her that beacon of hope, to bring everybody together, the I'm a believer scene works, I think, in that aspect. Just to me, believe it. It didn't say much. I mean, I guess you're saying she's fierce, but
it said a lot to me. If she said that to me in that moment, I would have like completely soiled myself before she killed me. Like, no joke. Like that was like I love it when powerful heroes get mean in response to a mean person. And that person, just out of petty and spite, tried to shoot a bunch of innocent people because his plan was unraveling.
Yep.
Kids at that.
Okay, I can get there.
Yeah,
I can get as angry as Wonder Woman was in that moment.
Yeah.
And what else do you say to that when someone's like, "I don't believe it"? Yeah, believe it, dude. You're done. Like that said plenty to me. Like, and I feel like Joss Whedon's one would have just fell flat.
Okay, so what did you guys think about the Amazons?
Oh boy.
Dude,
Okay.
I love them. I love them. They gave me some serious like 300 vibes.
Yeah, like, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I was getting
I love them.
Sparta. Yeah,
I love how like hardcore they were. Cause like one of the things I love about 300 is like those guys are so so it's so wars like so bred in their mind in that movie, and they're like they don't care like they love going to battle. For them is like winning a trophy. You know what I mean? Like like these Amazons had that same mentality. Like when she told him to seal off the gate, and what did she say? Like you'll honor us or something like that. Like, oh, dude, I love that so much.
Raheem, you were complaining about that part in the Whedon version. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I hated that part. It makes it make sense.
I was going to ask you if you liked it better in this version. Like,
yes, because they explain why.
What part in the Whedon version?
The part you're talking about, and when Stephen Wood first came, they talking about that part.
Yeah. All that was
So-
cut.
So
You didn't
in
like them closing. What you said? What was it you said you didn't
and
like?
so in Whedon's part, right? They had built this thing, right? Or they had this thing where the mother box is at, and then basically Steppenwolf just basically cuts the side of the wall and it gets out.
Yeah.
It was just like, what's the point of even having that? What's the point of having that if that's going to happen? Because they've been to war with them already, so she should know how powerful these beings are. So to have that as a thing to keep the mother box safe, and then he just rips the side of the side of the bricks and just pops out. I was like, what's that? So this version, I was like, yes. So this version,
that's interesting. I feel like if I had seen Steppenwolf just cut his way out of it, it would have invalidated everything, right?
Oh,
Whereas in this one, I was filled with actual dread when he showed up again after that. I was like, oh no. Like I was actually like, I was literally like quaking. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this guy's really, really, really scary if he can get out of that.
And it also made the Amazonians look weak at the same time too. Just how simple it was, how easy it was, you know. So to show that how he did that, and then specifically when the Queen grabbed the box and she was getting ready to get out the building. So on the first one, it made no sense for the two women to hold that thing because she could have just got out. So,
right.
So in
because through the hole that Steppenwolf went out.
There's a lot of stuff happened.
That's a good point.
So in this one, she stopped to help one of her, you know, I don't know if you call them subjects or sisters or whatever. You know, so it kind of showed that and how she kind of got hung up to reach the exit before the two sisters had to sacrifice themselves to make sure the Queen gets out with the mother box. That made way more sense. But then I was like, okay, how's he going to get out? That's my mind was thinking, how's he going to get out? When they showed the whole thing and why they did that, and then the whole thing crumbled into the ocean, I was like, yes.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. It's like what was the point in the Whedon version of them closing all the gates if he just sliced right through it and walked out? Like,
oh, it was bad. That was bad writing right there, dude. That was bad. So when I seen that, I said, make it make sense. Make it make sense, man. And I loved it. I wish I would have just never watched the first one.
oh man,
I really wish that.
I feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't run into many defenders of it yet.
Oh yeah.
Well, just that most of the people that have seen it up to this point have been Snyder fans because everybody got the early access and they're going to run to it. So I am after it's been out for a couple weeks and some of the actual like Whedonites or whatever they call them get into it. Like if they would, you know, crap on it.
We'll see.
Because it's just you just stick up for your guy. Most people, you know, no matter what.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, there's a reason I didn't watch the one, right?
Because obviously way superior. The one thing I did like about the Whedon version, I didn't like the way it was executed really, but I did feel like, and I told David this, Superman after Man of Steel and all these movies where he kind of brooded, he never got to the point where he was that shining beacon of hope. And they did make it a point to make him smile a lot more, and he came back in the suit. And I love this badass Superman that Zack's got going. And I think that Zack was eventually going to get to that Superman if he was able to finish his. I mean, even David said that.
Right. Yeah.
But like, it's almost like since they were like, okay, this is where you're wrapping up the story. Cut out Darkseid. We don't want any loose ends.
What?
And turns. No, I'm saying in the Whedon version, that's what they told him basically, right?
There's no Darkseid at all.
No. Like I told you, like that scene with the past was Steppenwolf, not Darkseid.
Yeah, that was originally Steppenwolf in the Whedon version. It wasn't Darkseid.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a plus.
This is what we want. You know, we want you to focus on Wonder Woman. So this is me being the apologist, right?
Oh gosh.
No, totally.
I'm just saying this is how it happened. Focus
Right.
on Wonder Woman, wrap it up, no loose ends with Darkseid, and bring Superman back to the person everybody but Zack wants to see him as, apparently.
Everybody but Zack wants to see him as, right? Oh man. Everybody here at the studio.
David says Zack would have got there. So those are the things that I would pick out of it that I like, but like David said too, every scene of those where Superman's being this way, he's got this rubber lip and he looks stupid.
It looks so bad.
It's hard to take seriously.
Yeah.
But it is nice seeing him smile, you know.
Even in
like the very end, he has this race with Flash, which is like a comic thing that they always do, and that's like the tag at the end of the credits.
Oh, him racing Flash?
Yeah, and it's like the whole Rocky 3 thing where
I loved it.
Him and Creed are about to hit each other, but you don't see who wins. They take off, and that's like the end. And as a comic book fan,
I hated that part.
As a comic book fan, I liked it.
Yeah,
it didn't make
for real.
But it does not tie in with this version of Superman.
Oh, it would wreck the sobriety of the overarching story.
No, I think even kind of in this version, like in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think this Superman is finally like he's realizing he's on that path.
Right.
To be like, I think he's like in this version, I think after he came back from the dead or whatever, like he kind of, I don't know. I felt like he kind of like realized he has to accept the responsibility. He finally like embraced it, being Superman. Like he didn't before in BVS and Man of Steel, you know, he was like really worried about what everyone was saying about him and how like, you know, the media was, and the people were hating him because of what Lex was doing. But in this one, it seemed like he was just like he even told Lois, like, I have a second chance and I'm not going to ruin it. Like, I feel like he kind of embraced it.
They could have created that.
I agree with that 100%.
With the one scene at the end where he rips off his thing right at the very end, that was back to the original.
Yeah, right.
That would have done that. But he's still wearing the black, which is a cool suit. But if they really wanted to show, okay, Superman's here, they could have had the colored version.
Yeah.
I like that point that you brought out too, because he used his powers more specifically. It wasn't just out of just trying it to see, to see what happens. Like it was really pointed in this one. I specifically thought it was a great touch when he used his the wind, the cold thing.
Yeah. On the axe.
Breath on Steppenwolf's weapon.
I got goosebumps in that scene because that's the first time you see him use his frost breath ever.
Oh
yeah.
Dude,
so it was pretty dope. And then the sequence on how, if you notice, everybody basically was tag teaming on them. Like to me, it was like, okay, we are a team, but everybody did it in a way to where they looked like they were an actual team that like they've been fighting together for years, and how that happened. And I thought that was really sticking cool, and it was kudos to like a comic type of feel to me, to like a comic book, to where you watch, or even the cartoons where you watch them and how they fighting, and if they're fighting as a group, you see how they tag team a strong individual. And I thought that was just it was brilliantly done on that part. I enjoyed it.
His entry in this one is like, for me, is so much better. Like,
make it make sense.
He catches the axe on his shoulder. My God, it's so dope. Because like he doesn't budge an inch. Like it's just like a little kid just tapping him on the shoulder. It was so tight. It was so tight.
I thought that was a neat echo and counterpoint to Darkseid being cut in the shoulder in the intro.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And also, too, just to add to that, it also shows too why they feared Kryptonian.
Yeah, right.
They've been talking about it. And so when that happens, he doesn't budge at all. Oh, this is why we haven't came back. I was like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And I got so sick and tired of, especially and I'm sorry about this, especially the cartoons and how they make Superman look weak at too many times. They make him look weak, and all of a sudden, he wins the day. And this one, he just was bow like nothing.
So
he's at 11.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He's at 11 from the second he from the second he fully remembers who he is, he's at 11,
Mhm.
and he never stops. And it is so cool to watch. Like it is like
God, dude, I loved him in this one so much.
no, it's so good. It's so good to just see Superman go hard and
Right.
be confident because he now has everything. This also sets up why he kills Batman, though, because he now has everything.
Mhm.
Again, he has everything, and he's got the second chance, like you said, right? He has the adoration of the world,
Right.
and
He's not gonna lose it again.
the respect of his peers, and he has Lois, and he has his mom. Like it really, I was trying to push it out of my mind because I knew it wasn't happening in this film, but I was like, this is why he kills Bruce.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is it. Like this is it. He gets it all. He gets to have everything. Like, and that's gonna make that so hard if that film gets made.
Yeah.
You know, like it'll be an amazing thing to watch, and it'll be really crushing and emotional. But like, I like that Zack set that up, even though that's still a big question mark, right? Whether the other films will get made.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing about the Amazonians. I only have one thing to contribute on that topic really quick, but I think it's important. Quite apart from their martial prowess, was the fact that they fought as hard as they could until the second Steppenwolf left with that box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was never an inch given.
Yeah.
They went as hard as they could. Like, I mean, I was like, that is totally where Wonder Woman comes from.
What are you doing?
Dude, Jared, David, do you guys have anything to talk about with the Amazonians and all that stood out to you?
Just what I was saying before, like how I liked how much they reminded me of like 300 and
Yeah.
how much of like just war, even them shouting like we have no fear, like oh man, that like even when I rewatch it, that line always gives me chills.
Yeah.
Always gives me like these people are ready to die, like they don't care, like they were bred to fight, like they don't.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was like super well done.
One of the 4 scenes that I loved from the original Justice League that I was so happy was still in there. It's like one of the best scenes in the movie.
Which one?
Which one?
The one where they're trying to get the box away from Steppenwolf.
Yeah. That's true.
It's just the coolness of that, but more of it,
mm-hmm.
and edited better. You know, that's what we're getting. So much more impactful.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Batman. I'm just going to treat this like it's a podcast episode, and we'll just go for it.
We do need to figure out also if we're going to what we're going to do next. Remember that.
Let's do it at the end. Let's do it at the end, and then I'll edit it out.
Best Batman ever. I'm not taking that back.
Okay.
Best Batman ever, bro.
Definitely my favorite. Definitely my
Best
favorite.
Batman, best Bruce. Hands down.
Right now.
I know, Jared, I love you, bro. Best Batman, best Bruce of all time. I am not taking that back.
I'm not arguing with you.
Dude is just.
It's the closest.
It's like I want to be him. I want to be that guy. That is so freaking cool.
I love it. It's the closest thing we've had to the comics, looks wise. I mean, his stature, his demeanor, like he's perfect.
And although he's serious, majority of the times he has those moments to where he's light.
Yeah,
you know, but he's always light as Bruce, never really Batman. You know what I mean? And the only time he was kind of like that with Batman is when, you know, Superman kind of confronted him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was it. He didn't want to die. You know, and I was just, but if you notice, even though I talk my mess, I have never talked bad about Batman. He's been so freaking dope and consistent from all these films.
Well, it's funny too because he's such like a man of science. I would never expect him to turn into a man of faith like he did in this one.
Oh man,
as a witness, you know, I love seeing that in my hero because I have a feeling that he wouldn't believe in a real God and he'd like be all about evolution and stuff, you know.
Right.
But the fact that he's working off of faith instead of leaning upon his own understanding. I mean, really, when it comes to Superman,
Yeah.
Like that was really interesting twist that I liked a lot. Like the last time we saw him this driven is like when he wanted to resurrect Superman. Like he was not taking no for an answer. Just like do it. Like
oh yeah,
we saw it last time we saw him. He was that driven about killing Superman. Like such a
oh yeah,
like
oh yeah.
I was saying that's part of what I love about his arc from this, like from BVS to this one, is like part of what you said. Like he in BVS, like he leaned so much upon his own understanding, even though his understanding was like completely wrong about Superman, and like he's going more like off of faith in this one. Like he's kind of this one was like the start of his redemption arc that Zack had planned for that character, and I was like, God, I hope he keeps going off of it, man, because he has such a good arc planned for him.
My favorite thing about this Batman, and I said it to Jared during the movie because it struck me so many times, was when something got solved that required intellect, it was Batman 100% of the time that solved it. They dignified
contribute to Alfred too.
Yeah, they dignified him with the intellect of the detective that he is in the comics. And you don't see that. I think a lot of times Batman in a film is a fashion show about who we feel Batman is, right? The impression of Batman, the implication of him, the threat, the menace, the suit. But man, in this movie, we're given his intellect, and in a way that is quiet and confident. And I thought that was really noteworthy, even as a person who doesn't read Batman, but knows that the thrust of his character is his ability to solve things that a normal person couldn't, right? Yep. Even when faced with being surrounded by things this powerful, he still didn't kind of get rattled, you know? He still solved all these little things. He solved all these little problems. Well, let's do this, let's do that. Anytime it was someone doing that, I think except in the one case of figuring out, of Cyborg figuring out he could interface with the cubes. And then Flash being like, I could create a charge like that, like nervously committed to it? Question mark. I've never gone that fast, but I know I can. I don't know what happens if I do. But other than that, it was all Batman. And I thought that was so sick to watch him not just be this dude that flies around and beats people up, you know, and looks cool.
Exactly. We get the complete Batman that we've been talking about for a very long time. So I enjoyed it. No irritating voice. You know?
Yeah, it's the robot voice, right? Instead, Jared's all about it. Yeah.
But I'm serious though. Like, you know, I know everybody is all hyped on the Nolan films and everything, but when I first seen Ben on film as just Bruce, I was like, that's him. That's him. That's exactly what I said when I first seen him on film, and then seeing him as Batman interaction and how he's always doing the directive or the detective part of it. But go ahead, Izzy.
All right, let's talk about Steppenwolf and wrap it up.
All right,
Raheem, go.
I thought that overall the CGI was so much better.
Oh, dude!
In the first one, it made me believe that he's an actual character. You know, it was just like, paste this on here and then put him out there and see what happens. The fight scenes, his interactions with the parademons, just everything how they had it. The eyes, when you have this big bad guy who's ripping through a whole lot of people, and then you get Darkseid on and he turns into a little boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just like you get who his character is, what he's about, and he's on the outs because he betrayed Darkseid, and so he's to win his way back into the circle. Like all these things, and how he went about it, and how he tried to go about it to every single thing, and he didn't just find the mother boxes just like that. He had to find. It was well done, well written. Dude was powerfully strong, and it showed how strong he was. That you needed a team to beat this guy. You can't beat him on your own unless you're Superman.
Right. Well, that's kind of displayed in the introductory sequences, that it requires a team to dismantle what Steppenwolf is trying to achieve. Well, sorry, Darkseid is trying to achieve. Steppenwolf is the current vehicle. David, what do you think of him?
Dude, I loved him. I thought he was. I thought he was.
So cute.
Yeah, I thought he was well written. I thought his the main thing, I loved his voice more in this one. Like his voice had that just like that evil alien, kind of intimidating voice. And yeah, I see cat. She's a cat.
Oh, she's the cat. Yeah. That's so cute.
Yeah, and I liked how Steppenwolf was evil, and I wanted to see the crap get kicked out of him. But it was weird because there was these moments when he would talk to Desaad and Darkseid, I almost felt bad for Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
They treated him like such crap, man. They're like, oh, 50,000 more worlds, and you betrayed us. I'm not gonna let you talk to Darkseid. They treated him like crap, man. I'm like, this
and
is
the
crazy.
eyes that the look that he gave when that was said, right? The look that he gave. That was said. I was like, oh, I was like a little poor cat.
I know, right? Kind of like a human, kind of like a human touch, but
man.
I liked how OP he was. I liked how he was packing people up, like the Atlanteans and made
no heart whatsoever for humans.
Yeah. I felt like they were in danger, with him going around. Because I was like, man, who's he gonna kill next? Going around, So I liked him a lot.
He was beast. He was a believable villain. Believable.
Yeah. Right.
The first one, not so much.
Oh, and also I like the part you brought out about how he did something that he betrayed Darkseid, and he was trying to work his way back in. I thought that was dope to add.
That's not in the old. That's not in the old one.
Side plot. Another
No.
Yeah, that's a
picture somebody just pasting something on a film, and then now you're at the end and not knowing really why, and the interaction. Oh my God! So you know how? Okay, so sorry, Izzy, you're not gonna really understand this because you didn't watch the first one. So you know how in the first one, right? How he was always talking to Mother.
Right. Oh.
Right. This one, he was actually talking to one of Darkseid's higher guards or higher up, whoever he is. So he was actually having a conversation sequence throughout the movie with the other side.
Yeah, and the Whedon.
What's going on? Reporting. That was awesome.
Yeah.
For the bad guys, just to have that interaction. Okay. Oh, it's not just him here on Earth talking to this box while he's doing this thing. And we're thinking it's for this box. It's not for the box. It's for Darkseid and the whole, his whole crew or whatever they're trying to do. So to see that interaction with Talon and then Darkseid, I say, okay, they did good. They did. Zack.
Yeah. Because in the Whedon version,
excellent.
He calls the mother boxes mother. In the Whedon version, every time he sees them, he's like, mother. Mm-hmm. It's really weird, man.
It's weird.
That's bizarre.
It's weird.
Jared, how do you feel about Steppenwolf?
I said to Izzy during the movie, I said, I'm so sick of hearing him talk about the scent of Mother's box. That's disgusting.
So weird.
The scent is on you.
So I wonder, it's weird how they just touch on that whole thing about his betrayal and stuff. I know that they're kind of working on a new Gods movie, or they were for a while. I wonder if that was going to go back and tell that story. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
But yeah, there's a whole prequel there of that. How did he betray him? But now he's dead, so it's kind of like a smoke situation. But
go ahead.
I love the way that they made the fact that they made him so powerful that he's chucking horses around with riders on him.
Yep.
So unstoppable. Yet he's the loser. He's like Raheem said, he's the little boy compared to the big bad that's coming. So it just set that up so much. It's wow, this guy we had so much trouble with. Now we've got the real deal coming. It's just I hope we do that. And I was so disappointed with him in the original one because I've always as a DC defender, You know, I'm like, well, we've got better villains than they do, and that's for the first two Marvel movies. Like that.
Oh
was,
man.
the whole trope of the Marvel movies was it's the dude with the same powers but bad.
Yeah, it's Abomination.
None of them until Thanos.
Yeah, it's Obadiah Stane.
Loki and
Yeah.
Thanos were our boss. But you know, I'm like, so they pick Steppenwolf, who is you know a lackey, and they make him completely one-dimensional. You know, he's just a monster-looking dude that looks like a PlayStation 3 video game boss. You know?
That bad?
It was bad. It was
so bad.
I might
bad.
even PlayStation 2.
Even the horses.
I mean,
Dude, the worst part
Shadow of the Colossus,
the worst
man.
part about the Whedon Steppenwolf is like he doesn't even die in the end of Joss Whedon's version. He gets sucked back up into a boom tube by the parademons because he started showing fear. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It was so stupid.
I saw it as him dying. Like they attacked him and ate. But yeah.
Oh, did they? I was. They just show him going in the
they
boom tube.
attacked
I guess
him.
maybe he did die, but
They attacked him, and I guess they didn't really say.
We assumed he died.
Huh?
Yeah.
We assumed he died, but it was whack. That's it. Was
I
whack.
was like, "Oh, you smell that?" Like what? He's like, "Yeah." Batman was like, "Yeah."
Oh, snap. We forgot about Aquaman. We didn't even talk about Aquaman.
The deal with the smell.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
what is it meant to talk about? Something?
We didn't have a thing about sense because there was another line in the Whedon version I forgot about that David pointed out where when Lois says to him, "You talked," and he says, "Did I not before?" Remember that? She said at the Superman in the field.
Yeah.
You spoke. Did I not before?
Yeah.
In Whedon's version, it was "You smell good." Did I not before?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was so dumb.
Yeah.
It was so dumb.
That's what I'm saying. Don't watch it, but like watch.
They took
You
her.
can watch it, but watch it after the hype of this comes down.
Oh man.
But it was bad. I'm trying to save your life right now. But it was bad.
All right, so what'd you think about Steppenwolf?
Okay, so yeah, this is the first time I've been, introduced to this villain ever. I didn't know anything about him. I recognized his head from the communal, right at the end of EVS Extended Edition.
Yeah, right.
And the boxes, so that made sense all of a sudden. I was like, that's going to be a thing, right? And then I get to see it, and then seeing how truly fearsome he was when the Amazonians couldn't stop him and they tried their hardest, right? That had an impact. But the thing, Kieran Hines is one of my favorite actors, and I saw his name in the credits and hit Jared, and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "He does the voice. He does the voice of Steppenwolf," and I'm like, "Good enough, honestly, like, good enough, dude. Like, I love him. Like, I will listen to him if I don't even get to see him. That's fine." And Kieran Hines was insane. I thought he was the perfect cast for that villain.
So.
And the thing that it's going to just be this kind of same of what you guys all already brought out, honestly, is that there is this crazy, polarizing, almost contradiction of his being subservient and needing to make up for something very bad that he did to people that are much more powerful than him. And the other side of it is that he is so powerful that the only person that can stop him is Superman. And they actually managed to pull that off. Like, they managed to pull that off. I believe both. And I think some of it is actually due to the camera work. And this was something I noticed a few times where Zack decided to shoot Steppenwolf from above. And normally when you shoot from above, it's giving power. But almost every time he shot from above on Steppenwolf, it was removing power. And I thought that was a really tricky, slippery slope, and he did it. And it is all, and Raheem brought it up. Raheem brought it up. It's the secret to shooting from above and removing power is in the eyes. And his eyes looked truly scared and subservient in every scene that's shot from above. And that really struck me last night when I was in the theater. Like, that really, I was like, wow, how did he pull that off? Like, now we're dark side, right? They put us, we're not a spectator, right? We're not a spectator. We're dark side in those scenes.
Dang, bro, you gonna have me start looking at movies hella differently now.
Good. Oh yeah. I mean,
I look at movies differently. I was like, hold on, man.
Honestly, like, that's one of the things I really love.
That's
about
dope.
this channel is like we all like sharpen each other in totally different ways, and I love it. Like it's so crazy. But yeah, shooting Steppenwolf from above and removing his power simultaneously is no mean feat. I thought that was truly impressive to do that, especially with a voice actor as Herculean as Kieran Hines. That was crazy. That was crazy to see someone that Kieran Hines is voicing and someone as powerful as Steppenwolf be seen as truly weak and scared in moments, and to believe it, right, to be there for it. So that's the thing I liked about Steppenwolf, was that he pulled off the dichotomy perfectly. And that I feel like that'd be really tough as a director, to be like, this guy's simultaneously stronger than everyone else in the movie and simultaneously weaker than the people he serves.
Exactly. And that movie, it did so well on portraying that, is that at times you feel like, oh man, this dude's a sap, and then he goes up against the Justice League. I'm like, oh damn, this dude's a beast, and you play every single time, every freaking time. So Zack, as I said, Zack, redemption.
Let's talk about Aquaman, and then we'll get into like how we want to do the next episode or whatever.
Aquaman, I'm gonna be really brief. Surfer, that's all I got out of it.
What'd you say?
Surfer. That was it. I can't even. There was no. I think maybe in later films they'll get more depth, but Surfer, I cannot stand. I cannot stand Mira. Can't stand her.
Really?
Oh, really?
I cannot stand. Like, it's like, I am not a big Lois fan. Not just Lois. This Lois is actually a really great actress, but just the character herself. I can't stand Lois' character. I hate Mira. That's how bad
character or
that character is when it comes to well, I'm gonna say Mira, the character herself, but the actress who played it was just freaking so bad. So bad.
Oh, you don't like the actress.
Bad, bro. Like, bad. Y'all couldn't find anybody else.
Here we go.
Anybody else. That was bad for me. I couldn't stand her in the Aquaman movie. I couldn't stand her in this little. I was hoping she was gonna be better. Oh my god.
Interesting. Okay.
I couldn't stand her, and it took away, even though Momoa is subpar actor, it made him look even worse. You know what I'm saying? Surfer. Sure. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. All right, David.
Yes.
I liked Aquaman in this. I feel like he had the least. I feel like we kind of dove into him the least in this movie.
Oh yeah,
everyone for the movie. Yeah, right. I feel like. I mean, what we got with him was good. I liked it. I liked this moment with Volko. I liked this moment with Mira. I liked Mira in this. I thought Mira was savage in this. Like when she was sucking the water and the blood out of Steph's face, I was like, oh man, I was just like, I love the way Zack like makes characters use powers in a movie. He makes them look super. He thinks outside the box. I liked what else about Aquaman? I don't know. He's so like. He's so like BA, man. Like I love the vision that he took on this character. Like it's hard for me to look at Aquaman like in comics and TV shows now after seeing this Aquaman, because this Aquaman's so like hardcore. And I like. I don't know if you guys noticed. This is something Zack talked about a while ago. I'm surprised he put it in the movie, but. Like when they're not talking in an air bubble, they like use clicking noises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like dolphins.
Each other. Yeah, I like that they did that in this too. So, but yeah, I liked Aquaman a lot. I don't think there was a lot with him in this one, but what we got, I think, was dope.
Jared.
So, Izzy, your main issues with a lot of the Marvel movies is the fact of the departure from the actual character, like when they cool them up or whatever.
Yep.
And
cool them up, yeah.
The Marvel characters really well, like from comics, because that's what you read. You didn't read DC.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty huge departure from like anything.
Oh yeah, big time.
I think it's great that they, took another blonde white dude and like made him Samoan, which made sense. He's like an islander, he naturally fits like in the whole ocean type environment or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's charismatic, which is cool. But yeah, the bro thing is a little much. The surfer thing, like he said,
Yeah.
a little tiresome. It kind of feels almost like they're kind of going for the Hemsworth Thor type character
Oh, sure.
in a way.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, a little more reticent,
Yeah,
right? Like,
I mean,
because Hemsworth wants to go towards battle and towards conflict, but Aquaman wants to avoid it.
I think
Left alone.
the casting was brilliant again on Snyder's side. I mean, he took the joke, the fish guy, and the movie's like the number one DC. It made more than any other DC movie, I think. So
Aquaman did?
yeah,
I think so.
he obviously
Or
like,
it might be
took
second.
that guy's charisma, and used it to cool up.
Oh, sure. Yeah, everybody's girlfriend is going to watch Aquaman.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
There are more women on earth than men.
Thank goodness, though. Okay.
But I guess that doesn't really explain what I thought of him in this movie. They didn't really change a lot. They didn't really add much for him.
Exactly.
It was pretty much everything
Really?
that was in there was in the version. So
Yeah.
Well, you
Except for,
like
like,
you
one
said you
conversation
liked
that he
the
had
White
with,
Stripes song better, right?
they took up a conversation with William Dafoe.
Yeah, that was out.
Actually, they did explain. They made it. So I'm glad you said that because make it make sense. And like, how did he understand or know when to go, where to go to this place or what was going on? You know.
A good
So,
point.
so they did like when you said they were talking in dolphin talk, whatever. That travels, that translates, and that travels. And he was already in the vicinity. So when he heard that, let me go see what's going on. So when he went over there, he seen the guy that one of the guards was down, and so because in the other movie, he just boom pop, it was there. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Yeah.
So in this one, he went where he explained that he comes here to think, he comes here to visit and think. And then William Dafoe, which I think would be a great Joker for the Killing Joke. But anyway, they will have a conversation and go, right? So he showed that he goes there all the time. So he's always next to Atlantis. So it showed that part. And also showed that it also explained that he can listen and hear the sea animals. That was another point. So when they're talking in dolphin talk, whatever, he hearing this, the vibration, it can be basically he can be where he needs to be when he needs to be there. And they explain that rather than just popping up being there.
He did kind of pop up in the Gotham Harbor area though when they were needing his help.
yeah, that's true.
Here.
Well, also though, like Joss Whedon does like dramatic appearances, but occasionally you should bother to explain them.
They did explain it.
In the Joss Whedon one?
No. And no.
And none does we.
And Zack Snyder, they did explain it because he would patrol the area.
Oh,
He would always patrol the area because that area specifically would kill a lot of men, and he would patrol the area to save everybody, to save the fishermen.
got it.
So that was already explained.
But yeah, the Gotham Harbor one, yeah, he just is there, and I wonder. Part of me wonders if Bruce, that scene is acknowledging that Bruce got to him. Like eventually,
Yeah.
it's sunk in.
Oh, that's a
He
good
had some
point.
time to ruminate.
Yeah.
Because they show him getting hammered after he saves somebody, which means he's still sad. He's saving people and he's depressed.
Yep.
Right? He's stressed out by his family situation. I guess we're getting into what I thought of him.
That's a
I
good
felt-
point. Batman told him he's from Gotham in the beginning of
he
the
did.
movie. That's a
Yeah,
good
it does,
point.
yeah.
Oh, that
He's
shit.
like, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys have kids there.
The thing I got from Aquaman, as a completely neutral like bystander, basically, was he handled pressure well or expectations. Right? He shrinks from them because he wants to be free and left alone. He resents the fact that he's a half-breed. He doesn't want the responsibility of either world.
Yeah.
but he's still a good person, so he can't stop himself from helping people. But it's funny how like the movie opens up with Bruce basically cornering him, which a person with those personality traits will not be cornered. If like you've ever known anyone that has trouble dealing with responsibility and pressure, even if they're a good person, if you do corner them about something, hey, I asked you to do this, why didn't you do it? Right? They vanish. Right? They'll disappear. And I thought that was good writing, because that's what a person like that would do. He would get in the water and start taking his clothes off and be like, in mid-conversation.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Even though he's a good man, in mid-conversation, he's like, I'm out, dude. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. You know, like I got enough pressure from everything under the water that I'm expected to be a part of in a really big way.
Get it?
Right? And pressured by humanity to be a part of it because I'm a half-breed. There's that weird quiet pressure in his head. So what he does is he helps very, very poor people that are utterly grateful and expect nothing in return from him. They expect nothing. They don't demand anything. They don't expect him to be their ruler. They don't expect him to hang out and be their friends, right?
And that's, they don't call me the king of earth. That's why.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And the other thing, and the way that I thought they beautifully explain that he's thinking about Batman's offer is the fact that he saves a fisherman who, again, will expect nothing of him, right? That's a safe thing for him to do as that kind of a person. He can be good in that moment and then absolve himself of all responsibility of it by leaving. He does that, but then he gets hammered, right? He's sad. He's upset. There's something about Batman asking him that is sticking with him in a way that's giving him guilt. And I think that's why he shows up at Gotham Harbor after that.
It's really funny that you pointed out
that's good.
Now that you explain that now, and the music difference, the change in the song showed that sadness in Zack Snyder's version. But when Joss Whedon played that White Stripes rock and roll song, it turned into a badass moment.
It gives you the wrong impression that he's into drinking and he's just having fun.
Right.
Yeah. Careless.
But he's not. He's the opposite. He's so stressed out.
That's interesting.
That's what I got from him. Because I know people like that. I know people that are beautiful human beings that can't handle the pressure. Right? This is why you'll see an elder step down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is it. This is that reason. Okay? And like it was cool to see that in a character that ultimately didn't have a lot of depth, but I thought that was really deep. Like the way that they explained him kind of like wanting to be out of responsibility, but still when he finally dumps that fisherman off and just gets hammered and stands there and he's just like, what am I doing? Like that's what it felt like to me. That moment was like, what am I doing? I got it. All right, fine. And then he goes and basically saves them. They would have been done if he didn't show up there. He was actually necessary when he stops the water. That's pretty interesting to think about. But I like this character because no one else in the Justice League has that kind of demeanor, right?
You know what I like that you just brought out about the drinking thing, about him being stressed. Now that you say that, every time we see him drink in that movie, I think it's like when he's stressed out.
Yeah, probably.
Like he drinks when he's after he saves a guy, and like right before he leaves, like everyone's just like staring at him, like who is this guy, you know? And then he starts drinking. Yeah. And then the other time he drinks is when they're digging up Superman's body.
Oh my God, he does.
Yeah, he's the one who's nervous the whole time about bringing Superman back to life. He's drinking. And then the third time he drinks is when he's leaving. He's like, I have to go meet my father. And like he's like stressed out about his dad. That's a good point that you brought that out. Now that I think about that.
Man, I didn't put any of that together. It was just that one scene of saving the fisherman. I was like, he's hitting bottom now, and he's going to go to Gotham. Like he's going to go find Bruce now because he's hitting bottom. I loved him. I don't know that Jason Momoa is a terribly magnificent actor, but he was fine. And also, I mean, we don't need to get into like the underwater stuff was amazing. All of it. Like when they chose to use the air bubbles and when they chose not to, it was all perfect. It was all great.
Yeah, right.
But
all right, that's all we got. Thanks for stopping by and listening to us. Check us out on 4 Takes on YouTube. We have a channel where about once every 2 weeks or once a week or so, we put up a video where we break down a scene and just kind of either make fun of it or love it. And then as far as the podcast goes, next episode will be up probably in the next month or so, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. We're all still kind of talking about it. But anyways, thanks so much for stopping by. Let us know what you think. See you next time.